Hello everyone, Alex here with a quick note. First of all, thank you for tuning into our show. Unfortunately, this session had to be recorded virtually as a safety precaution, as I'm sure we're all used to by now. Most of the audio was decent quality, with the exception of the DM's track. We apologize if the quality there is lacking, though I do hope that we make up for it in charm. Some of the dialogue had to be re-recorded for clarity's sake, although I do want to say it was done verbatim how it was improvised at the table. That is all. With that, I welcome you back to Strixhaven, and I hope you enjoy the orientation. Talk to you after the show.
Previously on Roleplay Radio.
You all realize the five of you are heading to the same tower. The Croc Tower seems to be filled with a lot of very interesting characters. The first one to enter is a gnome. Rosemiffenbit was Fiddlums. You like books, do ya?
Can I see if I was able to sneak one of her many books from her?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
Oh, Mr. Burninghammer.
It's Griff or Griffin, please.
Koss has been kind of like looking around and trying to make friends with everybody and knows that Griffin just like went straight to his room and seemed kind of agitated. Sticky bun?
He's not really sure what to do with this kindness. I would have Griff go around like the local area to see what his name is on, like a surname. I pick one and I deface it.
And Koss did bring their loot out just because they were like, oh, well, I want to try it. And then, do you want to be my friend? Do you want to be my friend?
Loser. I'm Greta Gorin.
Oh, Gary.
Do you lift, Garrett? Greta! Stand there! Oh, and just pushes you away like, move away, loser.
Gary 100% like falls flat on his ass.
Shelley's just gonna be petting the cat and thinking about like how they saw so many cool people and wish that they like spoke to them, right?
You see a pair of bunny ears.
Hello, what's your name?
Tobias? Tobias Swiftfoot.
Oh, hey, Tobias, if you jump, I'll jump. Shelley jumps.
It is the following morning, the day of orientation. Describe to me what this morning is like for you.
Would there have been a time of night after which I finished reading the fairy tales that I could have planted them back in the common room without anyone noticing?
Yeah, definitely. Because everybody would be sleeping in their rooms. You can head down to the common room whenever. I may ask you to roll a stealth check, though. See how quiet you are.
Yeah. Well, that's a 17 plus 7.
Damn. You are very, very light on your feet. Nobody makes a peep. You get down there. How does this look? You just drop it off?
I think I kind of tuck it between couch cushions. So it's reasonable for someone looking for it to not notice it, and then go back and sleep for a few hours.
Anybody else doing anything during the night?
I think Griff went right to bed, didn't he? He just went right upstairs.
Yeah, you were barely outside during all the mingling. You went out to vandalize your grandfather's name on the plaque outside of the tower, and that's all you pretty much did.
And he made eye contact with his rival.
Oh, that's right, yeah, with the elephant.
Rampart. So the next morning, you guys all wake up at your own time. You're expected to attend orientation that day at noon. So you're kind of treated to a nice breakfast in the morning. And in addition to a buffet of food, there is a large, heavy trunk right in the center of the common room that says for the students of Croc Tower. I know one person who would be up at this time, but it depends on y'all. Who's an early riser?
Mistake was up very late. So definitely not her.
I would think that just because he went to bed, well, he went vandalized and then he went to bed relatively early. I feel like he would be up.
Okay. You wake up, you go downstairs, and you see this trunk. It's so quiet that you think you're the first one down. But there happens to be a tree-looking figure in the corner meditating. You hear a low rumble.
He's pretty off-put by it.
Ooh. And then he kind of blinks, and hears you presumably downstairs moving around.
Name?
My name?
Yes. You are the only one here.
Griffin. Griff.
Tell me, Griff, why do you isolate yourself?
Well, until I meet people who are more enjoyable than me hanging out by myself, I'm good.
You enjoy the stillness and tranquility of being alone. I can sympathize with that. Clothes.
He points at the trunk.
Mine were too small.
Yeah, so Griff would go over and sort through it and find his thing.
Yeah. They're kind of tied up in sets. So you get your 5 sets of uniform for your first year, and they're kind of tied into a bundle. And you see another 9 sets.
Can I take note of all 9?
Sure. Different shapes and sizes. You see Garrett Griggs' name. You see one that just says Adrian Silvertrove, and it's been scratched out, and it just says Koss now. Similarly, you see one with a different name that's been crossed out and it says mistake. And of course, Shelley Shell.
Okay.
So I would say that Gary's a fairly, average riser, not really on the early or late side. So if everyone else is a late riser, he might be down earlier. I think that as soon as he gets down the stairs, he'll, look to the kitchen and be faintly disappointed that they've, laid out breakfast for everybody. And then just, well, all right then, go fix himself a plate.
You notice sitting against the wall is Greta, who probably got up a couple minutes before you. Nearly chokes on her food when she sees you.
Hi.
He's going to very pointedly walk away.
Okay.
She gets up, cracks her neck, flexes like she's about to hop into a ring.
Hey, Garrett. Okay. I just wanted to say that what I did last night might have been a bit, crappy.
It was. Do you make a habit of just pushing over people that you're trying to befriend?
Sometimes. I have a really hard time dealing with, social situations, and, I've never been popular until, now, and it's difficult.
So you figured you'd just pick on somebody who looked like a loser?
Well, when you say it like that, it just makes me sound like a jerk. I'm sorry, but I can do better.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Koss is probably your average riser, but it is also a new location. And there's a kind of well-known thing where if you're sleeping for the first time in a new place, you're not going to sleep quite as deeply as you do usually. So I think they've been up for a little bit, but they've been trying out different looks in the mirror before, while trying to make the best first impression to all of their professors and stuff. They'll begin heading down, and they'll have kind of a standard suite of elven features, because they've decided that if they want to look academic, then looking like a high elf seems like the best way of doing that. Except they've also got some other features, like their eyes, instead of being your standard eyes, are just pure slate blue, and their hair is all the same color of blue, draping down from beneath their giant floppy hat. So they'll go down to the chest and check it out, grab their clothes, say, "Good morning, Thorin." and then head over to get some breakfast.
Aurora comes back downstairs, and she is wearing her first year uniform, or one of the sets. She's ripped it already and made it so that it's like one of her shoulders is like exposed. She's added some jewelry and some trinkets to it, black nail polish, black lipstick. She looks ready to go. And to your surprise, she speaks to you. She says,
Hey.
Oh, good morning, Aurora, right? I don't think I got your name formally.
That's the one. Who taught you how to play?
I taught myself. It's kind of just something I picked up. My name's Koss. It's nice to meet you. You did really well last night.
she shakes your hand, but she says,
Careful, the nail polish is still dry.
Oh, right. Understood. It's not something I have to deal with usually. I just make them whatever color I want.
Lucky. Well, anyway, you weren't bad. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you didn't hate it.
It was a bit joyful, for my taste. Usually I write songs about either nature or death.
It kind of sounds like your songs would fit in well with the Witherblooms, yeah?
My best song is called Bury Me in Rose Petals. It's a bit too hardcore for the professor's taste, but I don't give a shit.
Well, I'd love to hear it sometime.
What are you doing later tonight?
I don't know. Still unpacking.
Well, I'll be down here if you want to join me. If you can keep up.
Okay, sure.
Mistake probably has been like in and out of sleep for most of the night. Don't think she slept very well at all. Tried to sleep on the bed, didn't like it, moved to the floor, couldn't really sleep, and at some point probably around like 9, kind of gave up and started like unpacking things. Spent a while trying to figure out where can I hide weapons in this room. Found a solution to that. And then 30 to 60 minutes-ish before they have to leave to go there, that's when Mistake would go downstairs.
So I presume that Shelley will probably be next. And so they go down the stairs very slowly. Backwards, I might add. On all fours.
great. And by the time you get down, most of your roommates are down there. You greet a good morning, and they motion you towards the trunk where your very oversized, very round first-year garments are.
Shelley kind of just like looks down and then just goes straight over to wherever the cat is and says, hello, and sits with the cat.
You actually feel something very blocky in your underarm area behind the cushion.
Shelley's gonna take it out, not know what it is, and put it in their shell. I presume that Shelley carries all of their possessions in their shell.
Sure. And Shelley, you are able to see over Rosie's shoulder that she's near you. She's writing a lost and found report.
Shelley's gonna go up to her and just be like, wow, you're doing a great job with that sign.
It's not a sign, it's a lost and found report. I lost my childhood book, and I'm very sour about it, so please stop asking me.
What book is it? What do you do with the report?
Well, I give it to Nora, and guess I just wait it out and hope it turns up. I said stop asking me questions.
Oh. Shelley takes out the book. So I should give this to Nora?
How did you... Where did you... When did you...
Oh, it was on the couch.
I checked there. Multiple times. Where exactly was it on the couch?
I honestly, I'm a bit, I don't have very good dexterity, so it was beneath me on the couch.
Look, it's fine. Don't worry about it. The important thing is, it's been found. You just made me very happy, you know.
And she just rips up the lost and found report and tosses it in the fireplace.
Rosa Miffenbip, was Firlums. Pleasure to meet you. I'm gonna go get changed.
Shelley goes back to the cat.
Griff has been here the entire time, and so he sees the cat and he's just disgusted by how the cat has relegated itself to being pet by anything but its family. And he is simultaneously pitying and angry at the cat.
So, your acceptance letters all stated that for the orientation you needed to head to the biblioplex, which, if you know Strixhaven, or even if you don't know Strixhaven, you would know at least the word biblioplex, the university's grand library, and it is meant to contain every copy of every book and every spell in Arcavios, and some say even of the multiverse. However, many are very skeptic and, consider that damn near impossible. But regardless, it is still a very impressive piece of architecture. And when you step outside, you see swarms of students all heading in the same direction. Some of them are walking. You have to walk through the Archway Commons, which it's really a big park, or a set of parks really, that are spread throughout the central campus. The largest portion of the Archway Commons is right in front of the biblioplex. You can walk through there, or you can take the alternative means of transportation, which is carriages. These carriages normally transport students from the student towers or from anywhere in the central campus to the 5 individual campuses. However, this morning, they are transporting first years to the biblioplex for orientation, just as a way to, 1, to be courteous, and 2, to really give the first years that Strixhaven experience and get them used to traveling by carriage. It's very much a norm here for students that don't like to walk. The thing about these carriages, though, they're not like the ones that you two saw in Ravnica, nor are they like any carriage Mistake has seen in Redfell, or even Griff in his manor. These carriages are being pulled by Pegasi. Beautiful, majestic creatures, white, black, all sorts of varying colors in between. Giant, beautiful wings that are currently kind of tucked away, but you can tell just by looking at them that if they were to expand those wings, they would measure easily like 15 to 20 feet in length.
Koss is walking out towards orientation, I think probably with Gary as their oldest friend at this point. And as they see the Pegasi pulling the carriages, Koss just taps him on the shoulders like, "Oh, I want the pet one! I want the pet one!"
I mean, you probably can. Can we still walk, though? I want to see the campus.
I mean, you can walk. I'm gonna go pet the Pegasi.
All right. Bye.
I'll go immediately over to the Pegasus and just start and pet it.
Can you roll me an animal handling check?
Sure. Oh, I got a 19 plus 2 is 21.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, very nice reaction. There's like a little bow from the Pegasus.
As the Pegasus bows, I also whisper, "I love you so much."
Now, if the biblioplex was already impressive from afar, it is all the more beautiful and majestic on the inside. To quote the book, majestic marble archways, tomes seemingly stacked for miles, and the infectious energy of hundreds of young adults fill the biblioplex. The grand library at the heart of Strixhaven. The sights, sounds, and sparks of magic in the air are wondrous. There's an information desk right across from you, and to your left you see a lounge as well as a student store. To your right, you see the Biblioplex Cafe and its seating area. And in the far distance, something glowing inside of a hall, a grand hall, where the doors are wide open. And you don't even have to venture that hard of a guess to know. That is probably the Hall of Oracles. Your acceptance letter stated that you must report to the Biblioplex's Hall of Oracles to receive instructions on new student orientation. And you can already see crowds of students heading in that direction.
I'm going straight to orientation. Might see if I can find Gary again, but otherwise...
Yeah, I think Gary's probably already sitting. Because I feel like people who were walking actually beat the carriages.
They probably did. The carriages just look nice, and yeah, they're there to transport people who want it or are otherwise incapacitated and can't. Yeah.
I think Griffin would wait for everybody to get settled in so that he could find a place to fit in with that he can pick, where he's not being intruded upon, but he gets to pick the last place so he kind of, doesn't have to interact with everybody.
As you step into the Hall of Oracles, an almost sacrosanct sense of calm descends upon you, upon all of you. The bright orb of energy is bigger than you even imagined looking at it from afar. It hovers right above a pillar. This pillar, you get the sense that it has a hollow tunnel on the inside because the energy from this orb is basically traveling through that pillar and collecting in a pool of energy at the bottom. There are students gathered around there. Some of them are like daring each other to get closer and closer, but nobody really seems to want to. There's a lot of whispering and a lot of staring. And that orb is so bright that it's almost blinding to look at. It's like staring at the sun, but it's bright blue. Now, the shape of the Hall of Oracles is, it's round. There is the front and center of the room. It's kind of sunken in, and students are sitting on these stair-like seats all around. You see an Outland lady descend from the opposite end of the room. She is dressed in black and white robes, and while you may have seen Outland professors and students out there flying around, this lady walked in because you see that one of her wings is bandaged up. It doesn't seem to faze her much. She's walking around with a smile, looking around at all the students, shaking hands, giving head nods, polite gestures here and there. And eventually, after a couple minutes, the Hall of Oracles becomes quieter. The chatter turns to mumbles, the mumbles turn to whispers, and then the whispers eventually cease. And this professor takes center stage. Welcome, students. I am Professor Mavinda Sharpbeak of Silverquill. It is a pleasure to have thee all here. In just a few short days, thou shalt embark on the journey of thine life. Several mages of the world, and indeed of the multiverse, made their roots here at Strixhaven. They went on to do great things, saving their world from ruin, fighting greed and corruption, and even slaying powerful mythical beasts that threatened their lands, thus saving countless lives. But that was their journey, my dears. This is your journey. Know that it is okay to stay true to thine selves, and to thine own selves be true. Thou art at Strixhaven to grow as a person, to discover the person who lies within thine selves. And we, the faculty of Strixhaven, are here to support thee in every step of the way. In just a few moments, thou wilt be provided with thy class schedules. But first, my favorite part of orientation. Ladies, gentlemen, non-binary folks, shall we commence with... She stops mid-sentence as the doors at the end of the hall open quite loudly. A woman walks in. A woman with a face so serious and firm, it might as well be made of stone. Rosa Mifflinbit was Fiddleums, taps one of you in the arm and says, "Oh, that's her. Captain Dapplewing. I heard some people call her the Iron Lady, or the Lady of Iron, something like that. I don't know." She is dressed in regal attire fit for a queen. Her hair is cut short at the sides, but she's got a bit of a pompadour going. And while her hair is noticeably silver, like close to white even, she does not look that old. She almost has an ageless face. If you had to put a number, maybe mid-40s, but It's very, very hard to tell. And as she descends the stairs, she dominates the room. Every single pair of eyes turn to her, including the Owlin professor that was just speaking, Mavinda Sharkbeak. And Mavinda is very visibly thrown off by this interruption. Allow me a few words, Mavinda. Oh, sure, Captain, sure. And she looks around the room for a couple minutes, tries to make eye contact with as many people as possible before speaking. And as she walks, her boots echo throughout the chamber. And one other very memorable thing about her is that she's got a clockwork owl following her, almost like a pet, but it's very obviously fake. Looks almost like an owl that would be on top of a giant clock. Greetings. I am Captain Dapplewing. I have the honor of running this university. Throughout your time here, I expect you will be seeing a lot of me. Some of you may not make it through your 4-year run. Others might get lucky. Regardless, I expect the same from each and every one of you. And that is commitment. When you walk through these halls, you are representing the elitist of the elite. The best of the best. And I expect nothing else from you but your best. This is not a vacation. This is not a place for you to lounge and pass the time. As far as any outsider is concerned, you are Strixhaven. And you will keep that in mind at all times. For it is not only your image that you have to worry about. It is Strixhaven's image. She reaches the area of the room where the 5 of you are sitting. And she kind of pauses there for a moment. You almost get the sense that she might be speaking to you directly, but, you also might just be a little paranoid. And it might just be coincidental. And she says, delinquency, truancy, disrespect, none of it will be tolerated here. And should you try and test that little theory, you will have me to answer to. And you will be expelled from this school and made an example of. Do I make myself clear? I'm sorry, I asked, do I make myself clear? Yeah, a lot of the students join in and very awkwardly respond, yes, Captain Dapplewing, yes. Good. I'm glad we have an understanding. And then she turns on her heel, and without even looking over her shoulder, she just says, Mavinda, they're all yours. And the clockwork owl follows her out. Mavinda looks, once again, still very distressed, and she's just like, oh golly, where was I? Oh, right, yeah. Brilliant scholars. As you are now Strixhaven students, this storied biblioplex shall be thy second home for research, studies, even leisure. There's just one task left to accomplish before you officially embark on thy academic journey. And it is my favorite part of orientation, and thus it is required, yes. Shall we commence with the scavenger hunt? There's a moment of silence as a lot of students start looking at each other, and then the mumbling starts once again as Mavinda says, get into groups of 5. It's okay to stay within your tower. The rules are simple. Each clue on this list will lead you to a different location in the biblioplex. Simply travel to that area the clue references and perform the action the clue suggests. Time is of the essence. You have only until the end of the day to finish your hunt. Solve as many clues as you can. There might be a prize or two that you'll encounter. Now then, off you go.
Yeah, I think the way that it works is like we kind of slowly funnel, and
The other half of our tower decided they wanted to be together. So
Right.
then it's just the five of us. We're like, oh, okay, I guess we're here now. This has 3 socially awkward people in it. Or I guess 2 socially awkward and 1 socially reluctant.
it's socially reluctant. I like that.
Would it be safe to say that it's probably like Gary and Koss end up being like, we're in a group, and then we grab Shelley, and then mistake, and then it's like Griffin is still off to the side. And just like,
I'm like, fine.
Yeah, okay. Like he realizes that there is no option, so he just goes over to the group.
all right. So we got a scavenger hunt to do. Shall we just go down to the top to the bottom?
Yeah,
one
that's
says,
fine.
first day anxiety can be rather unpleasant. Try showing some spirit. No time like the present.
I feel like this is a fortune cookie, not a scavenger hunt.
Well, do we know these are all places, right? Do we know what any of these places are?
So I propose maybe we just start with number 4. These leafy beds aren't always what they seem. Give them a pat and see what you glean. That one seems obvious enough. I would assume it's one of the gardens.
Okay, yeah, we can jump to number 4. Let's go.
Is this a race?
Some students are certainly treating it like one. Some groups of students that are very competitive, and they're just like running around together in a group trying to solve these riddles. But yeah, you follow Garrett's advice and you head to one of the gardens. All of the noise from the outside of the gardens kind of gets muffled the moment you step foot in them. And yeah, you see all these small trees, these rose bushes, all these beautiful flowers. You don't see any leafy beds yet.
So we go into one of the gardens. We don't see any obvious leaves. Like, Mistake's gonna look around, like go through the whole garden, kind of walk around everywhere, try and figure out what this means.
As you're stepping around through the gardens, you notice that there are certain areas underneath trees where if you step, the flora, the leaves beneath you start to blossom magically. And then when you remove your foot, they kind of die down again.
Gonna give them a pat.
All right. The weight of your body alone makes the leaves kind of sprout, and all of these leafy beds sprout up. I should mention that Professor Mavinda did state, even though you're working in groups, you each have to gather 1 clue per person. But Mistake, you're the first one. What, right now, at this moment in time, just given what she already knows about all the colleges, what college do you think she'd be most likely aligned with? And I think I know the answer, but...
Lorehold, absolutely Lorehold.
Okay. The flower bed that you tap starts to unravel. It blossoms into a very bright red flower, and at the very center of it, you see a plushie. It is in the shape of a statue that has like little sparkles on the edges. You gain a cuddly Strixhaven mascot as your first clue of the day. Everybody can see Mistake doing this, and the mascot will have an imprint of a number 4 on its back.
All right, so I'll also do the same thing then.
All right, and yeah, for each and every one of you, the same question. At this time, whatever college that you feel the most aligned with personally, that is the cuddly Strixhaven mascot that pops out for you, just by mere magical coincidence.
Currently, Koss is leaning Prismari.
Okay, so then your cuddly Strixhaven mascot starts off as an elemental.
Garrett is leaning Quandrix, so...
What's Garrett's favorite animal?
Ooh, I think Garrett's favorite animal is a mouse.
So it looks a lot like a mouse, except it looks almost crystallized, but the plushie version of crystallized. So like that kind of material that you can add glitter to. Shelley's is, I presume, Witherbloomy?
Yep.
It looks like a big old caterpillar. That's kind of cute with googly eyes.
Griffin, did you want to get a plushie?
Yeah, might as well.
not what his family follows, which is the lore hold. They're all sorcerers, wizards, but out pops a Prismari. And he's taken aback at that, because that's about self-expression.
Oh, look, we match.
Twins.
So upset.
I mean, we could be.
Alright, so having examined this, realize I have no idea what the fuck this thing does. I'm gonna use the little tape thing as a pouch to hold it, and then while waiting for everyone else, continue going through the rest of the scavengers and figuring out what location each could be. Alright, investigation. That's a nat 20.
Hey.
And I have a +7.
Definitely. I'll give you a few for that one.
Alright, so number 1 is going to be back toward the entrance. That's going to be the store that was there. The second one is the location where we sign up for extracurriculars. The third one is right by the stairs where you can sign up for jobs. The fifth one is going to be the cafe. I think that's right by the store. The seventh one is obviously back in the Hall of Oracles where we just were. I'm not sure on the sixth one. So shall we just go in order?
Sure, let's do it.
Do we want to deal with this, or do we want to go check out the lounge cafe thing?
I mean, we're here. There are gonna be people regardless.
Rather than wait, I have this feature where once a day I can do a roar. And I would like to do a daunting roar to get those people out of the way so we can get our stuff.
Alright, I'm gonna go grab like a patch to put on the big floppy hat.
I'll take a scarf.
Mistake wants to find, so she has like these very worn wraps around both hands that go from like, you know, the knuckles down to the wrist. So she wants to see if she can get that doesn't look so ratty. So she's just gonna get generic Strixhaven kind of like hand warmers. I don't think she understands all of the other colleges yet, even though she absolutely will end up in Laurel.
Gary's going to buy the cheapest thing he can, which is an enamel pin, probably with just the general Strixhaven logo, and he's going to complain a lot. Just like, they're already making us pay so much for this school, and now we're just supposed to spend more money just so that we can go through orientation. Can you believe this?
Gary, aren't you sponsored?
Well, yeah, but I mean, only for the first year. Also, I don't really believe that the Legion is paying. I think that Minnie's doing it. I don't think that they like me enough.
I mean, they're paying for me, so...
You know, I think they probably like you better.
I don't even work for the Legion.
That probably helps.
Shelley's gonna go up to Gary and be like, "That's okay," and gives Gary a copper.
Aww.
Oh, no, you don't need to do that.
That's okay, what'd you get? I want to get the same thing.
This pin, I feel awkward now, are you sure?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can't afford it, you know.
No, I mean, I can afford it. I do have one copper. I'd just rather...
And Shelley gets the same thing and then walks away.
All right, and you're paying for Garrett?
Yeah.
All right.
Cross the hall to...
Extracurriculars! I'm so excited for this part.
We'll sort of grab Koss by the shoulder and just be like, the cafe's closer.
Oh, food's also nice.
Then we can go do the others. This one's really close. So
I understand. Let's just go.
So, the Biblioplex Cafe. The walls of this cafe are covered with a mural made from living trees' roots, which move occasionally and make the entire place feel alive. The ceiling is covered in painted leaves, which change colors depending on the season, thanks to a permanent illusion effect. The magic also prompts painted squirrels to run up and down the mural's walls, and painted birds to chirp among the leaves. It feels almost like you're walking into a little like meadow. You see like one student ordering a drink, and you see another student wearing Quandrix garments, waiting 10 feet away from the barista.
I really don't like this clue because it says only 1 in 5 will be rewarded. So does that mean we have to just keep buying things until we get 5 of whatever?
I mean, it does kind of seem like they want us to spend money here. So let's everybody get a drink?
Sure, great.
As soon as you approach the counter, this student who was standing there, she immediately just like runs ahead.
Nope, sorry, this one's mine.
Can I use a reaction just to grab him? 16 plus 3, I got a 19.
All right, you are able to hold her back. This student is a human. She is wearing very huge round glasses, and she has bright, like turquoise colored hair. She is wearing first year robes, but she's got Quandrix merch all over her, like a Quandrix scarf, a Quandrix enamel pin. You can tell where she's leading.
Can I help you?
Remember your manners. We're here first.
Well, not to get technical, but I've been waiting for 5 minutes.
While this is happening, Shelley's just gonna go.
Now listen here, you. I will not stand here and be lectured about manners by a Leonin. I can't stand you people. You people are so privileged. You think the whole world owes you favors just because
Stop it!
I'm sorry, what?
Stop it! Stop making assumptions about people just because of what they are.
Griffin is very surprised to have somebody stick up for him.
Spoken like a true lesser. Look, I don't want to stand here and argue with you, okay? The fact is, I've got to get my hands on 5 cups. You know how painful it is to wait for that? 5 cups, given the whole, only 1 in 5 thing?
Well, it sounds like you should be here with the 4 other members of your group, doesn't it? Maybe you should go find them and let us continue with our work.
We split up. We're being strategic.
Does Shelley have something? Because I want to just come back and be like, oh, look at this.
The barista is this really nice gnome lady, and she just hands you your drink, like, here you go. And the cup has a 5 on it.
I'm gonna go up to the barista and ask, so for this one, are we meant to only bring back 1 for the team, or 1 for every single person on the team?
Oh, hey, honey. Yeah, I don't know why they do this. It's kind of like you have to buy multiple cups of coffee throughout your orientation or something. It's stupid, I know. I'll tell you what.
Roll me a charisma check.
Can I do persuasion?
Sure.
It's a 14 total.
I'll tell you what, honey. I gotta go use the bathroom real bad. If you just fill in for 5 minutes, I can get you and your friends a cup each. Huh?
Okay, sure, I can do that.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
I actually know how to make things.
I will take a second and pull my hat down and then come back up as the barista.
She has a name, but I
a very tall version of the gnome barista.
Am I still grappling that person?
Yeah, you're just fucking bullying them.
She eventually, after mistake, stood up for you. She got scared of the tiefling and immediately just shied away and ran back to join her group. So yeah, she's gone.
Shelley's gonna go to Koss and be like, hello, bartender, and wink.
Hello.
I would like more.
Well, maybe you should wait until I get back from my bathroom break. I don't know where the labeled cups are.
Shelley's gonna
Garrett.
go around the back and help look for the labeled cups.
Oh my god. Garrett, since you said you also hopped behind the counter to help Koss,
Yep.
you hear a
psst, psst. Hey, you.
Yes,
And it's-
hello?
It's the same girl that was just bickering with Griff and the steak.
Look, I don't want any trouble, okay? But there's a silver here with your name on it. If you just get me 5 of those cups. Huh?
I mean, I would, but I don't know where they are.
She was getting them from that cabinet there. I saw her. I'm sure she doesn't mind, okay?
I'm gonna say the reason Mistake doesn't notice is as soon as this person is like out of visual range, like line of sight's broken, Mistake just kind of panics, like tail wraps around her ankle, and she's just doing her best not to visibly panic.
All right, so neither one of you notices this, only Garrett. And Koss is probably too busy helping customers. A lot of them don't care what the hell they get. Some of them just ask for coffee. Some of them ask for water, as long as they get a cup. Garrett is currently being talked to by, she says,
I'm Lorene. What's your name?
Gary.
Gary. Nice to meet you. I see that you have a fractal mascot there, Gary. You Quandrix hopeful?
At least according to the leaves.
I happen to know a lot of good people to talk to. I'm happy to put in a good word. If you help a fellow Quandrix out, huh?
I mean, I can try. I don't know how successful I'm going to be. I'm not sneaky.
She holds up the shiny silver.
You know, I heard you complaining at the student store. Something about spending too much money and you needing to find your own way for second year?
Yeah, alright, I'll check, okay? I think he's gonna kill a little bit of time by, like, actually filling some of the orders, because I'm assuming Koss is sort of taking them, doesn't really know what to do with them, and so he's just like, alright,
I do know what coffee is.
Koss can at least give them water.
Yeah. Do I need to roll, like, a sleight of hand to see if I can get these cups without anyone else on my team noticing?
Yes.
Is Shelley actively looking through the cups, though?
Shelley's just gonna be like, hey Garrett, and then take all the cups and throw them to the crowd.
Garrett's gonna grab one of the whole rolls, walk back over to Lorene and be like, I don't think I can take your money now. Anyways, here.
She still leaves the silver there on the counter.
Hello, we're looking for clues from a scavenger hunt. Do you have anything marked with number 3?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps if you were interested in applying for a job?
And she pulls out the job application, but there's a light near her, like a lamp that projects and you can see through, and there's a backwards 3 because you see it it's on the other side of the page.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll take 5. I'll take 5.
Excellent. We have many interesting opportunities here at Strixhaven. Whether you want to work at the Bow's End Tavern or the Fire Jolt Cafe, you can even work here at the biblioplex.
And she just does not stop talking. She keeps going and she pulls out a long scroll of job positions available.
You got anything where you can just be left alone?
Well, sure. I mean, if that's your preference, you can work as a groundskeeper. They tend to have a lot of alone time. It's a very solitary job.
Grabs it.
Are there restrictions on who you hire?
Restrictions? Well, I mean, we do have a list of people to never hire again, if that's what you mean.
But there are no restrictions?
Not really. Unless, of course, you are lazy and neglect your job. Why? Where do you envision yourself working, honey?
I didn't picture anywhere would hire tiefling.
Honey, we do not discriminate by race here at Strixhaven.
Just gonna take the application, just kind of back away, very unconvinced.
Yeah, so we can go to the extracurriculars and probably grab the sign up forms from there.
You guessed it. You already see people there higher years because they're wearing their college colors. So you see somebody recruiting first years for the horticulture club, for gymnastics club, silk ball club. There's all sorts of tables here that you can check out. But everybody's heading straight for the flyer table, which is just the general extracurricular and very easy. Much like the job application, there is a number 2 behind the flyer.
So Koss is initially heading straight for the flyers table, but they get sidetracked as they see the theater club, and they just go up to that group and just start being like, oh, what kind of productions do you do?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked, mate. My name's Quintilius Melantor III.
Quintilius, my name's Koss. It's a pleasure to meet you.
What do you look like right now?
Currently like a high elf.
Koss, tell me, are you into dramatics?
I'm as into dramatics as any other person, I suppose. I just like I like putting on different people, I suppose.
Sounds like a serial killer.
Ah, I absolutely love that. I appreciate a person who can jump into someone else's skin at any moment. I pride myself in my ability to do the same.
Oh, wait, hold on. Are you a changeling too?
Am I a what?
A changeling. Koss will hat down and then come back up as Quintilius.
Huh. You mean you can do that whenever? Like, whenever, without any makeup?
Yeah, and I pride myself on my ability to do so.
Huh. Well, good for you, I suppose.
You can get an air of jealousy from him.
Back into Koss's given form. Sorry, was that weird?
Little bit, yeah, little bit. Just don't go stealing any of my parts, okay? I take this seriously. I don't care how many hours I have to sit at the makeup table. If I have to play a drow, a Goliath, hell, once they asked me to play a tiefling. Could you believe it? This gorgeous face playing a filthy tiefling. Anyway, here, take a flyer. Next.
Shelley will walk up next.
To the same table?
Yeah, same table. Shelley just followed Koss. Just like, hello.
Oh, hello. No need for cleanup here, thank you, we got it.
Okay. And walks away.
As Shelley walks away, Koss is just like, I think that guy's a racist.
Griff is also following because, he's got the Prismari and he's like, okay, so I'm gonna not be buddy-buddy with anybody, but he would watch Koss go over and listen in. And he's gonna pass on the kindness of our tiefling friend Mistake. And I'll take 2. And then grabs them from him and then hands one down to the turtle that he now knows.
Shelley just goes, thanks, Griff.
Remember your manners.
Sorry, Mr. Burninghammer, sir. I pride myself in having manners.
We'll head over towards Mistake after we spot her and just be like, got sidetracked. Don't talk to that guy.
Koss, you might have an idea for 6. It sounds like a stage singing thing? I don't know.
A stage thing?
Stars may be ancient, enduring, and bright, but others, perhaps you, are born on opening night.
So, yeah, I guess we'll head over towards the stage. Do we see anybody there doing a thing?
Let's see. No. But you do see the stage is there, the curtains are drawn to a close, but there are several floating lights above the stage. Like little orbs. It looks almost like dragonflies, just kind of hovering around the stage.
I think maybe we're supposed to catch one of them.
I didn't bring my bow?
I was thinking a net.
Shelley takes out their shield and is just like, okay, and reaches up and tries to scoop up a bunch into the wood.
Okay, they are about 20 to 30 feet in the air.
Okay, jump.
There we go.
You can use your jump ability and I think sleight of hand if you're trying to do this.
That is a 19.
Okay. Yeah, you jump up and with your shield you're able to kind of encase a few of them. The problem is that as soon as you land and you kind of bring them down with you, they kind of like balloons full of helium. They immediately start to want to go back up.
I'm going to be like, grab them.
Go try and catch them.
Presumably you guys are all stepping onto the stage?
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's where they are, yep.
So the rest of you, when Shelley jumped onto the stage, out of the floor, there emerged a little case, which reveals itself to be a lantern without any light inside. It's just the casing of the lantern. And then the rest of you leap on the stage, 4 more pop up. So now there are 5 little lightless lantern cases on there.
Don't try and scoop a thing into a lantern.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
They resist. Unless you guys can roll me a sleight of hand check like Shelley. I think Shelley might get hers automatically because of that 18.
Thank you.
Well, I got on that one.
Yours escapes, Koss, and it's very appropriate that it does.
I got
18 plus 5.
Okay. Mistake, you're somehow able to, like, finagle it into the lantern.
7.
Okay, Griff, much like Shelley and Mistake, you're able to get your lantern and scoop up that little orb of light. Garrett and Koss are just left there with the lanterns, and then the orbs of light just escape them and go back up to join the rest.
Oh, well...
I'm sorry, guys. I can't jump again.
It was very impressive the first time.
Thanks. It's magic.
What if I climb on you, Shelley?
Well, they're 20 feet up there, and we're only 12 feet total. I think that we need to have Mistake on you, on me.
Or we can see what happens when someone does something star-like?
I mean...
Was jumping not star-like?
Like something someone would do on a stage. Like perform.
I don't really perform so much, but yeah, I guess I could give it a shot. So Koss will take their loot and look up at the firefly-looking things and just go, "You light up my lantern, get in my lantern, please come on down, get inside and fill it now. Fill my lantern."
Mistake will sort of just cover the lantern and just scoop it. We'll do the same with the second if another one happens to come down.
It's only one per performance, and Koss, that was beautiful. Thank you.
You get in Garrett's lantern. Please get in his lantern. Get in right now. This is the same song. Light it up somehow.
I like that. Yeah, a second orb comes down, sure. I wanted Garrett to do something, but like that is beautiful. So I think that the orbs do follow.
Wow, thanks, Koss. I can't sing, so that helped.
The sign over there says that they have improv nights here, so you could probably just do that instead.
I mean, how is improv different than whatever's happening right now?
There's no music.
That's fair. Everything's really improv when you think about it.
Are you sure you can't sing?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I think everyone can sing.
Well, I can't do it well.
Oh, okay.
After a few seconds, the orb of light begins to take shape inside of your lanterns. It takes the shape of a beautiful translucent blue stone. Attached to it is a bit of a necklace, but the stone itself is it starts out as an orb, and then it looks almost like a flame, and then that flame takes shape into a stone, and then the necklace kind of just forms around it. Inside of your lantern is now a Strixhaven pennant. This magic pennant bears the symbol of Strixhaven or one of its 5 colleges: Lorehold, Prismari, Quandrix, Silverquill, Witherbloom. So once again, whatever you're feeling at that moment, it bears that symbol, but otherwise they look identical. While you wave the pennant, the symbol on it glitters, and the pennant sheds a bright light for a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10 feet. So it's just a little, you don't have to carry around a lantern, you just have a little pennant that can shed bright light for 10 feet.
Right, well, yeah, I feel like everybody's staring at me up here on the stage, so let's go do this last one.
Okay, it's probably in the Hall of Oracles, because the snarl.
So we'll head back there.
Just don't get too close to it.
Shelley's thinking about how proud they are of themselves, because they usually don't have any ideas.
So yeah, we'll go towards the pool if everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody's reaching in, and they're having the same reaction. They look a little dazed, almost like they forgot where they were, because they reached in and felt this energy. And a lot of their peers are like, "Are you okay? Is it good? Okay, my turn." they're a little concerned because there are students lining up to do this, but it feels like it changed them in some way. Professor Mavinda is standing there observing in case some of them, and in fact you might even see one or two students that do faint from what they feel. Who's first?
I want to ask the professor what's going on here.
Oh, it's the snarl, my dear. The pooled energy there is very ancient. Snarls are all very ancient, my dear. Sometimes the students, when they touch that energy, it can be a bit overwhelming. Not to worry, it's perfectly safe. Unless thou happens to try and climb the tower and touch the actual snarl. That is very frowned upon. Please never do it. The pooled energy in the base, however, well, that has healing elements. And oftentimes when students go out of campus and get into trouble or they get hurt, well, we bring them straight here. Because this is their best chance of survival.
Alright. It's probably fine.
So you said climbing up. Is it only dangerous if they climb?
No, Shelley, it's the light that's dangerous. The snarl.
Oh.
It doesn't matter how you get to it. You could fly and it would still hurt you.
Shelley looks at the teacher for approval of this idea.
I implore thee not to have any funny ideas. If thou touches that snarl, it will kill thee. Make no mistake about it. Even some of the most powerful faculty in this university cannot withstand such power.
And she kind of explains that the pedestal in the middle, that acts as kind of a filter. Only the healing part of that mana survives in this pool.
Shelley has no more complaints.
Mystics just gonna, as go toward the pool thing, is just gonna tell Shelley, heard stories of what happens to people when they get too close to those. It's really bad.
You've talked to people?
Yes.
Oh wow, how'd you do that?
Kind of like this, just with other people.
Oh, wow. Talking to people's hard.
Sure.
Griff knows that there isn't necessarily something to be worried about as long as you don't do it like a dummy. And so he just takes off his shoes or whatever. You know, I don't think he would wear shoes because he's got lion feet. So he just kind of rolls up his pants a little bit and gets in.
You momentarily lose track of your body, and you lose track of time, as you are overwhelmed by the snarl's magical power. You get a vision of where you envision yourself in 5 years. It is very brief for everybody in the room. It's only about a second or two before you are kind of pushed back away from the pool. But to you, it feels like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Where does Griff envision himself in 5 years?
I think because Griff wants something more than just what the family history is, that family duty tells him to do. But his father always prevents him from exploring the other things. I think he doesn't see anything. I think it's very dark, very ambiguous. I don't think there's clear-cut anything, and that's worrisome to him.
And as you are pushed back away from the pool, you find that the hand that you reached in to touch is now holding a potion of healing, and it's got a number 7 on it.
I'll go next. Wish me luck.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask if you wanted to hold my hand and bring me in.
Sure, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So we'll hold hands and then reach our other hands into the pool.
Where does Koss envision themselves in 5 years?
I think Koss envisions themselves kind of like still in Ravnica. It's like a different apartment from the one that they're currently living in with their parents. in their vision, they know this is their own place, and it's kind of decorated the same way that their room is, with paintings all over the place. But they are currently like seeing from first person themselves working on something, but then like when they turn around to look into a mirror as they're drawing a self-portrait, they don't see anything in the mirror because they don't know what they want to be.
Shelley's gonna see their 4 new friends sitting around in a circle, playing a board game, and all of them laughing and having a good time, and is surprised to see Griff there, because they just didn't think that Griff was going to be a friend, but Griff has now stood up for them and was very kind. And so they see Griff there laughing along just with the rest of them, and it's just an incredible sight. And then they're sucked back to reality, and they start crying.
So Gary can go next, where he would see himself in 5 years, also back in Ravnica, but running his own shop, kind of like what he was doing when he was working for Minnie, but now it's his own. So behind him, there's a lot of like cogs and gears kind of away at work, almost like the engine room of the blimp that he was on. You sort of have the impression that there's like a mage hand just turning a big wheel, and Garrett is behind the desk. Everything is actually very clean, and he sees just like Minnie walking by outside, waving. He's very content.
And Mistake?
Very hesitant, but after seeing everyone else do it and seemingly be okay, a little concerned about Shelley crying, she goes ahead, and the first thing she sees is being back home. It's dirty and cold. She walks down down the dirt paths barefoot, going through puddles to where she usually meets with her friends. There are fewer there than usual, and there's like an indication of like a kind of shrine thing honoring someone who has recently died. So she opens the door to see that, and there's a part of her brain that's like, this isn't right. This is not what I want. This is not how I want things to be. And then slams the door, and then the door changes. Instead of this, very old piece of plywood with like holes in it, and it's like kind of molding away. It's just a nice wooden door in a nice house like you would have in Redfell as a human. And kind of backs up, and she sees, she's wearing nicer clothes, and she's in an actual house, and she turns around and her friends are there, and she can look out the window and see that she's like on the second floor of a building with view of the port, and she can see the ships at the docks and the bright red trees along the street. And I think that's more or less what she sees.
And you are pushed back to reality, where you find yourself once again in the Hall of Oracles. Takes you a moment, because all of these visions feel very real to all of you. There are TAs there just ready to help, like, are you okay? Checking in with every one of you. And then finally, Professor Mavinda announces the end of orientation, and she says, all right, classes start in 2 days' time. In the meantime, feel free to explore Strixhaven's grounds. This will be your new home for the years to come. Any questions, you can always count on the faculty of the biblioplex. Thank you, and have a lovely day. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again this week. This episode was recorded in Watertown, Massachusetts, also known as the traditional land of the Pecosset and Nanantam peoples. I'd like to give a huge thank you to all of the talented musicians that helped bring this podcast to life with their amazing music. We've provided a link to their web pages